All right, Shalom. I want to give all praise unto Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, Bashim Makar Kadash. We give double honors to the apostle elders, which are apostle elders that rule the great millstone, and to you hope elect out there on the four corners of the planet Earth that's pushing this truth without sincerity, honesty, and faith. This is we're at the time of the end, man. Okay, 2018, the year of prophecy. Things are heating up faster and faster. All right. So we pushing this. We got to push this truth out, man. We're coming to the time of where these things are gonna start showing themselves more and more, and things are gonna start taking place. All right. So this is a lesson that I'm gonna, Lord willing, start doing with a few other lessons. It's called Sins of America. All right. And Sins of America is because this is Babylon coming back in the reincarnation, man. All right. And the sins of America mighty. That's why this place is gonna be judged. And the men out there on the four corners of the planet Earth, we're just being announcers for the bout to come, man. Okay, we're being those announcers. That let's get ready to rumble. That we're that type of announcement, man. All right, because these things are gonna get this place destroyed because it's set up to be destroyed. All right, so I'm gonna play this. It's called Sins of America, Fullness of Bread. Okay, so that's what we're gonna get into is the fullness of bread. All right, because the sins of Sodom were more than just homosexuals up in there. They had other sins to go along with that. Okay, so I'm gonna play this video and show you about this is just in California alone to show you how much the so-called homeless population is, and a lot of these people are jakes, man, because they're at the bottom of the society. They're the ones that are, how you say, reaching. Nobody's there to consider them. You know, that's why it says, who goeth to ask about thee, O Jacob, man. You know, I'm paraphrasing the scripture. If I find it, I'll pull it up. But this right here, a lot of these people are jakes. They don't have to look like stone cold Edomites, or how you say, they look like Edomites, and some look like jakes, man. But you got confusion of face that's in there too, because they're suffering the curses also. So I'm gonna play this, and I'm gonna go into some scriptures, Lord willing, this is edifying.
Google Maps and Google Earth, I will show you where it starts and where the bikers are.
And he's just giving you an overview of where this biker is running through in California. All right, this is in Anaheim, California. And this video was, I think, about 4 or 5 months ago. Let me make sure. Yep, 4 or 5 months ago. All right, so I'm gonna play this.
The distance from one point to another is about 1.6 miles, and the amount of tents and homeless people that you see in this video is just disgusting. Doing a little research here, I also found out that California has the highest poverty rate per capita in America. They also have over 1/4 of the nation's total homeless population, which is roughly at 114,000. Now, this is just messed up, man. I'm not going to get all political, but it's pretty easy.
And it's just like you said, it's going to say it's a third world country, man. This is supposed to be one of the richest nations, but this is what they have in their so-called streets, man. Okay, because this also ties in with Sodom and Gomorrah. So we're going to play this.
Easy to figure out how, so you can get an idea of where this video was taken and just the short amount of space the biker travels, how many homeless people and how many tents you see. So take a look. If you can't, try and count the tents, because I tried twice, I lost count. It's just insane. So this is the kind of problems we got in America, but you know, there's some people out there who think we just need to let in all these refugees, just let all these people in when we can't even feed and house people that we already got here. So just a little something to think about, and I'm going to cut this off before I start getting real political. So check the video out. Let me know what you think in the comments. I will see you later. Peace.
Oh, you see, bro, that look like Somalia somewhere, man. You wouldn't think that's in the so-called states, man. Okay, so these things are because we're at the end of this society, man. So these things are taking place. We'll always have the poor, but the way that Esau's doing it, man, because they spend how much money on so-called military. All right, let's go. Look at that, man. It just keeps going and going, man. I'm just gonna fast forward. It's still going. Just keeps going. 12 minutes. They probably got a waiting line to get up in this place. All right. That's it. I'm gonna show on that, man. I'm gonna jump into this next article right here. And this article was posted July 15, 2016, but it's still relevant. It says why Americans lead the food in world in food waste. Okay, and it says Americans waste an unfathomable amount of food. In fact, according to the Guardian report released this week, roughly 50% of all produce in the United States is thrown away. 50%. Oh man, 50% of United States produce is thrown away. Some 60 million tons or 160 billion worth of produce annually, an amount consisting 1/3 of all foodstuff, wasted food, and also single biggest occupants of American landfills, the Environmental Protection Agency has found. It says, what caused this? A major reason is that food is cheaper in the United States than nearly anywhere else in the world. Aided. Controversial by studies to corn, wheat, milk, and soybeans. But the great American squandering of produce appears to be cultural dynamic as well, enabled large parts by a national obsession with what is that? Exotic quality foods, fruits, vegetables, in addition to generally being helpful, have a tendency of bruised, brown, wilted, oxidized, dinged, and discolor, and that apparently something American shoppers will not abide. It says for an American family of four, an average value of discarded produce is nearly $1,600 annually. Globally, the United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization estimated that 1/3 of all food grown is lost or wasted annually, valued at nearly $3 trillion, man. But then you turn around and look, you got how many so-called homeless people are lying in the streets, man. They're lying in the streets, literally lining on both sides of the street with nothing but so-called homeless people, man. Let's go back here. All right, because this is the sins of America, man. And it's written in the scriptures. If you see this type of things going on in your society, that's something you should fear, man. So let's jump right into the scriptures, and Lord willing, this is edifying, man. Because you start seeing stuff like this, and you realize, like, man, this place is really fulfilling the scriptures. All right. The first scripture is Ezekiel This is Ezekiel 16 and 49. It's Ezekiel 16 and 49, and it says, behold, this was the iniquity. All right, let's look up that word iniquity. We know an iniquity, so let's look it up. The word there is avon, and it says perversity, depravity, iniquity, guilt, or punishment of iniquity, iniquity, guilt as great, guilty, guilt, consequence of a punishment for iniquity. All right, and it says, behold, this was the iniquity of thy sister Sodom. Okay, pride, fullness of bread. And that's what you see happening in Babylon the Great right now. You see what? Fullness of bread. There's abundancy of bread, but it's being wasted. And it says, behold, this was the iniquity of thy sister Sodom. Pride, fullness of bread, and abundance of idleness was in her and in her daughters. Neither did she strengthen the hand of the poor and needy. So this is another side to the prophecies of Sodom and Gomorrah. That's another reason that we can tie along with the homosexuality, along with the so-called pedophilia, bestiality. All those things are tall tale signs, but another big sign that we can prove that what America is the biggest wastefulness of food in the United States, but a high poverty rate. Okay, a very high poverty rate, because what the so-called unemployment is at damn near 30 some percent, man. It's not more. Okay, it's a high number. I don't quote me on that number. You know, somebody be like, the number's off, but it's a high number of unemployment, and then people that aren't even looking for jobs no more. All right, that's why you have the heroin epidemic, because people are depressed, man. So they're using these drugs to escape reality about what paying bills. There's not enough jobs to go around that are good paying because it's all set up. And it says, behold, this was the iniquity of thy sister Sodom, Pride, fullness of bread, abundance of idleness. And, you see that in America all day, man. Was in her and in her daughters, neither did she strengthen the hand of the poor. Okay. Now we're gonna go and look at fullness. Salakia. Making sure it's still sharing. All right, the word there for fullness is sabah, sabah. All right, and it's satisfaction, satisfy one's fill. So this place has its place this place has its way full with bread, man, full with food, dainties, fruits. They even have things that are shipped into them, exotic fruits. Lacum, okay? Lacum, bread. All right, bread, food. So it's another name for saying fullness of food. Okay, this place don't want for nothing, but it'll tell you. And you got even farmer states, man. They put corn in oil, man. It's GMO corn anyway. But I'm telling you that the fullness of Babylon is here. But you have poor here, man, which is a sin against your nation, man. Okay, and it says bread, food, grain. Okay. It says, behold, this was the iniquity of thy sister Sodom. Pride, fullness of bread, abundance of idleness was in her, and in her daughters, neither did she strengthen the hand of the poor and needy. Okay? And they were haughty and committed abominations before me. Therefore, I took them away as I saw good. And this place is getting geared up to be taken away. That's why you see the prophecies coming to pass, all the things that's taking place. These are what? The Most High getting ready to take this place away. Because the sins are here. You're seeing the sins, man. Ain't nobody Jake's ain't making people homeless, bro. If you see right here, look at the homelessness. This sin it shows them to their face. Look, hundreds of people just homeless on the street in the backyard of so-called Hollywood, man, or in California where Hollywood is at. All right, let's jump to the next scripture. This is Proverbs 28 and 27. This is Proverbs 28 and 27. It says, "He that giveth unto the poor shall not lack, but he that hideth his eyes shall have many a curse." And you see what Babylon's going through. The wildfires, the earthquakes, the tornadoes, the hurricanes, the different things that are hitting this landmass, the heroin epidemic, all of them are cursed. Many a curse, man. That's a curse that's being put on this place. Because a lot of them people on the streets are jakes, man. A lot of them are jakes. You have some Edomites in there. Don't get it twisted. You have some desolate two-time loser Edomites, because they're gonna lose in the next world. But you see, they still up in there, man. But you have jakes that are out here are starving in just poor period, man. All right, and it says, "When the wicked rise, men hide themselves. But when it says, but when they perish, the righteous increase. And when they perish, the righteous increase." That's why it says the nations are going to be happy when we're ruling. Even though we're going to be ironclad on the planet Earth, after that 1,000 years, the Earth is going to be at peace, man. The Earth is going to be under total subjection under the power of Yahweh Shem Shah, man. It's going to be under total subjection. There's not going to be any schisms in the so-called Earth. Everything is going to be ran by the laws of Yahweh Shem Shah flawlessly. Because that's what the earth was created for, man. But we had to learn this lesson of wickedness to go unto perfection. Okay? That's what's going on. It's like you have an old car that's beat up, and the motor's all right in it. The tires aren't that good, and then you so-called revamp it, fix it. You put a new motor in there, you put new transmission, you put new steering wheel, same body, same car, but it's going to be improved, man. The earth is going to be likened unto that, man. It's going to be totally, utterly, and beautiful, man. When you see certain places like islands, and you be like, man, what, man, that's beautiful. The earth is going to be beautified, man. The Most High created this place to be inhabited, and it belongs unto you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right, let's jump into the next precept. It's the book of James 5 and verse 5. And that's what we're waiting on, man. You got to feel the type of way when you see the earth go through these things, man. When the animals suffer the way they do. All right. And it says, James 5 and 5. It says, "Ye have lived in pleasure on the earth and been wanton. Ye have nourished your hearts as in the day of slaughter. Ye have condemned and killed the just, and he that doth not resist you." And you see what? That's Israel. We don't resist this man. Israel tries to save this man. They try to go after him and put him on a so-called pedestal and do this for Esau, try to save this for Esau. Esau's not trying himself. There's a saying, don't try harder than somebody else does. Okay? It doesn't add up. If you want somebody to stop doing something, you don't try to do over and beyond more than they are, because they got to try for themselves, man. You know, but Esau's not able to try. He's not in the picture to try. He's not destined to try. But Jake is trying to try harder than Esau. Esau blatantly worships Satan, man. You don't see a lot of Jakes in the satanic temples. You don't see a lot of Jakes in those higher up secret organizations. They get up in there to try to have a better life, man. But Esau totally given to that. That's why it says, "Stand now with thy enchantments." Okay? And it says, "Ye have committed and killed the just, and he doth not resist you." It says, "Be patient, therefore, brethren, unto the coming of the Lord. Behold, the husbandman waiteth for the precious fruit of the earth." And you seeing it. That's why it says where it says, "I shall send, he shall send them into the garden, into the labor." The harvest is truly plenteous, but the labors are few. All right. And we in the time of harvesting now, man. The Lord's fruits have popped up. That's why it says the fruits, man, the first fruits. which is the elect. The elect is ready to be picked. That's why we're out here doing the work and we're going to the four corners of the planet Earth pushing this word, man. By the way of the unicorn, it's going out there and it's reaching who it needs to reach. So the husbandman waited for the precious fruits of the earth, man, the fruits of the earth for the men on the planet Earth, the elect. And it says, he have long patience for it. So the Lord has had long patience. It says 1 year, 1 day with the Lord is 1,000 years, and 1,000 years is 1 day, man. So the fruits have been waiting to be picked. It's time for harvest, man. The men in the spirit, it's time to be harvested, and you're picked when you learn of this truth. When you realize who you are, you're picked, man. Put into a basket. That's why we hope we make it and be a choice fruit. And it says, the husbandman waited for the precious fruit of the earth and have long patience for it until he received the early and latter rain, which is the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, by the way of the comforter. And it says, but be ye also patient, establish your hearts, for the coming of the Lord draweth near. The coming of the Lord draweth near. So that's why we're getting our minds ready, man, by way of this truth. And now the world is against us. These demons are against us, man. The only one that got us is Yahweh Shem Yahshua, man. That's why we just constantly try to push forth this truth in this wicked flesh, man. And it says, guard, grudge not one against another, brethren, lest ye be condemned. Behold, the judge stands before the door. And that's it on that. Let me jump to the next precept. I got it in the book. I'm gonna get the few of these out the apocrypha, and I'm gonna close on out. This is the book of Second Ezra 2 and verse 20. And Salaki for check the you brothers got precepts, you can drop them in there. And it says, this is the book of Second Ezra 2 and verse 20. Second Ezra 2 and verse 20. And it reads, do right to the widow, judge for the fatherless, give to the poor, defend the orphan, clothe the naked, heal the broken and weak, laugh not at the lame man to scorn, defend the maimed, and let the blind man come into the sight of my clearness. But it says, give to the poor, defend the orphan, clothe the naked. So that's who you're supposed to, and that's especially to Israel, But Israel wants, or so-called Esau wants to say that he's a man of the Bible, he's a man of the book. Well, that's written in the book. You ain't supposed to do those things, man. And the Rothschilds and the higher up elites are sitting on big money, man. But that's showing that they're not of the Most High. They're not doing the things that the people of the Most High would be doing. All right, and that's it on that. Let me get this. It's Tobit, one of my favorite books, man. Tobit goes in. It's the book of Tobit, 4 and verse 7. This is Tobit 4 and verse 7. And it says, give alms of thy substance, and when thou givest alms, let not thy eye be envious, neither turn thy face from any poor, and the face of Yahweh shall not be turned away from thee. And the Lord is turning his favor away from Babylon. That's why it says Babylon has been a golden cup in the Lord's hand, man. He kept this place up. He kept this place afloat to fulfill the prophecies. Because this was that kingdom that was forth to come. Now it's come, it's lived out its days, and it's done what it's supposed to do. Now it's time to pass away. Now the real kingdom is coming into play. And it starts with the men first, because it says the kingdom of heaven is within you. So the kingdom of heaven is being built, man. It's 144,000 and a 1/3. That's what's being built in these last days. So the kingdom of heaven is not no building, no land plot. It's the men in the families that are saved through the men. That's what we getting built. The greatest. This story has been waiting on this time for a long period of time, man, and it's coming to pass. And it says, Tobit 4 and 7. And it says, the poor in the face of Yahweh shall not be turned away from thee. If thou hast abundance, give alms accordingly. If thou have but a little, be not afraid to give according to that little. So give, man. Even if there was a crisis in a so-called society, you still give to the poor. But you see, Esau, man, he don't give a damn. That's why it says in Second Thessalonians, the what? The man of perdition shall be revealed. And it says, for thou layest up a good treasure for thyself against the day of necessity, because thy alms do deliver from death. See? Because the food and the things that they could give to their people, they don't do. That delivers from death, man. These people go out and panhandle and who knows what they do to maintain themselves. You know, and they're getting high because you're depressed, man. Okay? And it says, because thou alms do deliver from death and suffer not to come into darkness, and suffer not to come into darkness. For alms is good gift unto all that give in the sight of the Most High. See? And that's what you see, man. And Tobit was teaching the son of these things, man. All right. And now that's what we going in our kingdom, man. They're gonna be a poor Israelite because we have a law that was written to just justify that, man. Hold on, let me get that. Let me pull that out real quick. Give me 1 second. Bear with me 1 second. This is the book of Deuteronomy. This is Deuteronomy 24 and verse 19. It says, when thou cuttest down thy harvest in thy field, and thou hast forgotten the sheaves in the field, that thou shalt not go again to fetch it, for it shall be for the stranger, for the fatherless, and for the widow, that the Lord thy power may bless thee in all thy works of thy hand. And when thou beatest thine olive tree, thou shalt not go over the bow again, for it is for the stranger, for the fatherless, and for the poor and widow, fatherless and for the widow. And when thou gatherest the grapes of thy vineyard, thou shalt not glean it afterwards. It shall be for the stranger, for the fatherless, and for the widow. And thou shalt remember that thou was a bondman in the land of Egypt. Therefore I command thee, do this thing. So when it comes to our kingdom, ain't gonna be no poor, man. If you don't, like our apostles say, if you don't want to work, you ain't gotta work, man. You can just literally live off the land, okay, and live off what is gonna be given, man. Okay, so there ain't gonna be no so-called homeless Israelites or poor Israelites, man. That's not gonna happen, man, because we're gonna be totally in order. And this is Wisdom of Solomon 2 and verse 10. It's the book of Wisdom of Solomon 2 and verse 10. And it reads, let us oppress the poor, righteous man. Let us not spare the widow, nor reverence the ancient gray hairs of the age. It says, let our strength be the law of justice, for what which is feeble is found to be nothing nothing worth. And that's what you see Esau doing, man. Esau's doing what he can to maintain the wickedness on the planet Earth, man. And and hurting the poor and doing these things are part of that wickedness. Okay, and then let me finish this and back in Tobit. Let me jump back in Tobit. Still some more meat on that. All right, this is Tobit 2 and verse go to 21. Four, so like it. This is Tobit 4 and verse 21. It says, fear not, my son, that we are made poor, for thou hast much wealth. If thou fear Yahweh and depart from all sin and do that which is pleasing in his sight. And we have much wealth. And what should come to your mind after you read that scripture? It's the book of Revelations 2 and verse 3. It's Revelations 2 and verse 3. Verse 9, Salakia. And it says, I know thy works in tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich. Just like Tobit said, even if we become poor, how are we made wealthy? By doing what? Following after the ways of Yahweh Shem Yahshua. You read it again. This is Tobit 4 and verse 21. Fear not, it says fear, it says in the fear, and fear not, my son, that we are made poor, for thou hast much wealth. If thou fear Yahweh and depart from all sin and do that which is pleasing in his sight. So the Lord made us rich by giving us the law, statutes, and commandments, man. And it says, Revelations 2 and verse 9, I know thy works in tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich. I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. So we are rich, man, through the Spirit. All right. We're rich, man, because we have this truth, knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. So I didn't want to make this too long, man. I just wanted to show this video and give you another, hopefully installment. I'm gonna do another one, call it the Sins of America, and just go through because there's a bunch of them, man. So this is just more ideas, and if you brothers feel the spirit, hey, jump on it, man. So Lord willing, this was edifying. And I want to say Brock the How, Brock the Al Shai, Bashir McCarthy Dash. And much love to you, Akim, out there that's pushing the truth and sincerity, honesty, and faith. Keep pushing, keep fighting. We're almost there, man. And hey, maintain, man. Bashir McCarthy Dash, stay in the spirit and power. Yahweh Bashir Al Shai. Shalom, Akim. Shalom.